Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing how to get your ex to text you. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details, www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing how to get your ex to text you. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, then you need your ex to contact you. But can you influence this? Well, in today's podcast, I'm going to be giving you 3 suggestions on how you can increase the chance of your ex texting you. So let's get straight into this. And point number 1 is walk away. So when I say walk away, I am suggesting that you implement my version of the no contact rule. Now, if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you've likely already heard of the no contact rule because lots of people suggest this is something you can implement to increase your chance of success. But what you might not realize is that there are many different versions of a no contact rule that you can find online. And this is why, but I suggest that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my playlist entitled The No Contact Rule so you can fully immerse yourself in my variety of a rule, because I believe it will give you that strongest chance of success. But why does my version of a no contact rule, why does walking away increase the chance of your ex texting you? It sounds kind of counterintuitive, but the basis to this is that somebody can only miss you if you are not in their life. Somebody can only think about you greatly if they don't believe you're going to be messaging them every other day or possibly every week or so. If they truly believe that you have gone, if they truly believe that you have walked away, this is where they can begin to miss you. This is when they will start to think of you more deeply because they're wondering what you're doing with your life. They're thinking, look, they're not texting me. What are they doing? I didn't necessarily want them to chase me, but I expected them to reach out at least a few times. Where are they and what are they doing? This type of intrigue can develop over time into missing you, and as I would describe, your ex the dumper regrowing romantic emotional attraction for you the dumpee. If and when this hits the necessary high point, this is when they're going to reach out to you. Now, occasionally it could be another way. Occasionally it could be in person or a call, but most likely it will be via a message, a text, something similar. It's a very safe way of reaching out to somebody. If you knock on their door, you don't know what they're going to do if they answer, and that's if they answer. If you give them a call, you don't know if you're going to get in some type of argument, if you're going to hear something that you don't want to hear. But as a dumper, if you reach out via text, this is safe. Somebody can read that text and respond in their own time. It might be days or weeks later. Now, if you are a dumpy and you receive a text from your ex, I don't suggest you wait weeks and weeks. I believe that if you are a dumpy, you should never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. But if they contact you, then you do respond. Now, my suggestion would be that you respond within 24 hours. So you need to be thinking of it quite logically. When do you receive a text? If you receive it at 10 p.m. at night, it's quite understandable for you to not respond until the following day. If you receive a text at 9 a.m., then I would suggest that you respond the same day. Would you really go the whole day without having a moment to respond to a text? Okay, this is the present day. We're not talking about the past. We're not talking about the days when texts didn't come through for sometimes weeks upon end. This is a situation where your ex knows you've received a text. You've received it. You're going to have a moment. We all have a moment in the day to read a text and to respond if we want to. If you read that text and you decide, look, I'm going to play a game, I'm not going to respond for a few days, let them sweat on it. Well, guess what? Your ex the dumper knows you're playing the game. Okay, it's not something which is a surprise anymore. They know you would have read it. And if you don't respond within the same day, it's going to look like you're game playing. You don't want that. You want this to look natural. Now, looking natural also means that you don't instantly respond within 5 seconds. I would suggest that if you receive a text from your ex, you need to be waiting at least 10 minutes or so before you respond. And if you are busy, reply when you are genuinely free. If you are at work, you don't respond for 6 to 8 hours possibly. But what I would say is if you get a text in the morning, the likelihood is you would respond before the end of the day. And like I said earlier, if you receive a text late at night, maybe then you don't respond to the following day, but please make it realistic, because if your ex the dumper knows you're playing games, you're not going to be growing attraction. If they know that you're deliberately trying to make them sweat on it, or if they know that you don't know what to do and you're worrying about this and that, this isn't going to help you. It's going to play into their hands. So keep things realistic. Respond in a realistic time frame. Now, there might be a few messages that it isn't the right thing to do in responding. There might be a few messages where you think to yourself, no, I don't want to respond. Now, if you are confused about this, if you want to speak to me about your unique situation, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your specific problem. I can speak in a generalized sense in my podcasts, but this isn't going to help each and every one of you for your unique scenarios. So if you want to speak one-on-one, go to my website, www.dateme.tips, and you will find information regarding my audio coaching service where I can become your coach and your teammate. But in general, I would suggest implementing my version of a no contact rule is a fantastic way to grow intrigue, to grow the possibility of romantic emotional attraction regrowing in your ex's mind, and then eventually reaching out to you. So how to get your ex to text you? Well, point number 1 is walk away. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about how to get your ex to text you. And point number 2 is intrigue on social media. So for whatever reason you were dumped, you can improve yourself. I always say that we want to strive to become a version 2.0. Now, maybe you were dumped for a specific reason where you were not showing your best self. If that was the case, then what I'm about to speak about right now will really, really help you. However, even if that wasn't why you were dumped, improving yourself is still a great thing to do. You need to become a version 2.0 of yourself for you, not just your ex, but for you. It helps your self-esteem, it helps you attract different people, not just your ex, and it also helps attract your ex if and when they know of it. Now, if you are still connected to your ex on social media, then this will be obvious as for how they could see what you post online. But if they're not, trust me, exes have an almost uncanny ability to find out about things that you post on the internet. Maybe a friend of a friend, maybe a family member, somebody is likely to get back to your ex with the information. Now, what do I suggest you post? Well, like I said, improvements, showing that you are growing as a person. Perhaps this is something such as you've passed your driving test, okay? Put it online. If you use social media, that is a fantastic way to showcase growth. Maybe you are showcasing that you've improved your health and fitness and you look better than before. If you post a photo of yourself, make sure you look your best. Make sure you are looking happy, carefree and fun in the photo. It's very, very attractive. Now, just a quick comment on social media. If you don't normally use it, and I don't suggest you go 0 to 60, again, that can seem obvious and like you're game playing. Don't aim anything at your ex. Just put things out on social media in a natural way. If you don't often use it, then maybe start posting once every couple of weeks, maybe increasing that to once a week. If you're somebody who posts every day, then just keep that up as well. You want to be focusing on posts which show ambition and show improvement. So whatever you do, don't post sad song lyrics. Don't post things which come across as angry, bitter, or needy. Keep things positive and showcase yourself in a way which is intriguing. If and when your ex finds out that you have changed for the better, they will be more likely to one day in the future reach out to you. Whether or not they actually specifically mention something, for example, saying, hey, I saw you on social media, you're looking amazing. I saw that photo. Where was it taken? You look incredible. Or perhaps they won't say anything at all, but that is what they are thinking. Maybe they send you a message just saying, "Hi, how are you?" But it's on the basis that they know that you've just got that new great job that you've posted, that you've been successful at getting. You don't know why they're reaching out necessarily, but the intrigue from social media can really help your cause. Whether or not you use it a lot at the moment, social media can be your friend if you use it to your advantage, but always make sure that you concentrate on you and not your ex. I would strongly suggest that you never check your ex's social media. At best, it will confuse you, and at worst, it can break your heart again. So if you post online but you can't help but look at your ex's social media, maybe this isn't the hint that you should be following. Because I would say that checking your ex's social media can become addictive and very detrimental to your breakup recovery. So only use social media if it helps you and not hinders you. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about how to get your ex to text you. And point number 3 is join online dating apps. Now you might be thinking, how is this going to increase the chance of my ex texting me? Well, first of all, you might bump into your ex online dating. Now, although that might be something you think is scary because you don't want to think of them dating other people, there is a possibility that your ex is on there just chatting. They're not necessarily meeting anybody, but if they're on there and they see you're on there as well, they might reach out to you. Now, alternatively, a friend of a friend or somebody might say, "Hey, I've just seen your dumpy, I've seen your ex online dating, and I don't know whether you want to check out their profile because it looks really, really cool. It looks amazing." And this is my point. Make sure your online dating profile is fantastic. Using some of the suggestions that I've just given in point number 2, make sure it comes across as happy, carefree and fun. Make sure it comes across as ambitious. Make sure your photos look fantastic. Make sure you're using recent, current photos. I would always suggest that your first main profile photo should be a photo which shows your head down to your shoulders, possibly something very clear showing the colour of your eyes, that type of level of closeness. I would then suggest the second photo being something where you can see head to toe, where you can really see your figure. Again, this shows people what to expect if they were ever to meet you, and it can also show a potential ex the improvements you've made with your health and fitness to how you're looking. A third photo, I would believe, should be something which shows your personality, whether this is you playing the piano or playing a sport, something which shows the type of person you are when you're not dating, when you're doing things for fun or a hobby or an interest, whatever it may be. So that's 3 examples. I have more suggestions about online dating. Again, this is something we could speak about in audio coaching if you want help and advice with that. But if you want your ex to text you, if you join online dating, you have a great profile. If somebody your ex knows sees your profile, they might tell your ex. They might say, "Hey, look at this." And this could intrigue them to reach out to you. Say, "Hey, I've just seen that you're on this online dating platform. You're looking amazing. Where was that photo taken?" Similar to point number 2, but also different. The main difference being that if your ex-dumper is also online dating, they might reach out to you and text you on the app itself. And that can be very helpful if, for instance, you've been blocked, or even if you haven't been blocked, maybe your ex-dumper deleted your number. Maybe they didn't have a way of contacting you anymore because in the heat of a breakup, they deleted your contact details. Then all of a sudden, they see you online dating a few months later and they want to reach out. Now, if you want to protect yourself from seeing your ex, there are some things you can do to make sure you don't bump into them online dating, but they could still bump into you. And that is making sure that your search results are always avoiding the exact age of your ex. If, for instance, your ex is 35 years old, then you need to make sure that you search for people, for instance, 30 to 34, and then do a different search, 36 to 40. Just as a suggestion, just leave out those people at the exact age of your ex. Therefore, you're not going to bump into them accidentally if you don't want to see them. But your ex could still inadvertently bump into you. So you get all of the benefits, but none of the pain if you bump into their profile and that you really didn't want to see it, especially if they don't reach out to you. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.